Soon you will engage in a whole class discussion in response to the question on the slide. How do the specific details in the text support the development of the central idea? First, you will have time to think about the question, refer back to the text, and jot notes in response to the questions in the margin. I want you to consider the question on the slide and jot notes in the margin of the text. You're going to do exactly as you did before when you made the claims and mark the claims. You're going to go to Insert, Comment, and type notes to answer the questions in the margins of the text that way. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the conversation stems for our discussion. If you have not already done so, I want you to open the Reading Protocol, Conversation Stems, and Discussion Tracker handout. You're going to scroll down to page 2, which has your conversation stems on it. And I want you to follow the directions on the slide. You're going to review the Conversation Stems section of the Reading Protocol, Conversation Stems, and Discussion Tracker handout. Then you're going to put a star, in other words, an asterisk, next to the stems you can use during the discussion. Now, we did some starring of specific details when we looked at The Joy of Superman and Me by Sherman and Alexie on our first read. So remember, an asterisk is that shift plus the 8 key. Now, in a few minutes after I model it, you're going to silently review the handout and put a star or an asterisk next to the stems that you think you can use during the discussion. So let's look at the conversation stems. Now you'll notice there are sets of concession stems as well as conversation stems to show disagreement, to agree, but for possibly a different reason or to add new information, as well as to qualify. And I always like the while it is true that blank, it does not necessarily follow that blank. So I'm going to go ahead and put an asterisk, remember that's the shift plus the 8 key next to that particular stem. So I know when I get ready to discuss, I'll probably want to use that stem when after someone finishes talking. Now I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to go through the stems, the concession stems, and the conversation stems in the table to find which ones you want to use and to put an asterisk beside them. And now you're going to participate in the whole class discussion in response to the question on the slide. Remember to refer back to the annotations and notes you made in the text. You may even want to do the split screening. Remember that's Control plus the bracket to be able to have both the text and your conversation stems in front of you. And remember to use those conversation stems during the discussion. Now let's look at our question again. How do the specific details in the text support the development of the central idea? One. And now I want you to open up, if you haven't already done so, your Central Idea and Theme Tracker handout. You will be using this document to record the themes and central ideas of the unit text. This will be important because there will be discussion and writing prompts related to comparing and contrasting these different themes and central ideas. There will also be a writing prompt on the cold read task that asks you to do the same. I want you to follow the directions on the slide. You're going to complete the row on the central idea and theme tracker for The Joy of Reading and Writing, Superman and Me by Sherman, Alexie. Now, as you took notes during the discussion, and as you have the slide presentation to be able to refer back to the central idea, I want you to use all of the materials at your disposal to work on this. Once you finish that row, I want you to turn it into me through Google Classroom. You will have 7 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the actual document in case you haven't opened it yet. This is the central idea and theme tracker. Please fill in that first row for The Joy of Reading and Writing, Superman and Me by Sherman, Alexie. Congratulations! In this lesson, you learned that Sherman Alexie uses specific language to convey his strong belief in the power of books to save lives. You also analyzed how an author uses specific phrases, sentences, and paragraphs to develop claims and a central idea in an informational text. We have now finished Lesson 2.